You spoke to Reggie Bush about the name and likeness, name, image, and likeness new world that's coming to college football. What did Reggie have to say?
Reggie's perspective was fascinating. We talked for about a week back and forth about this subject. And he's of the mind, and obviously he got into a lot of hot water with the NCAA. His alma mater got devastating sanctions, lost 30 scholarships, 2-year bowl ban. And really, Reggie Bush could have made so much more, probably, according to the experts I talked to for the story, who projected what Reggie Bush could have made if he played now, which is 10 times what anybody else, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, any other star would have made this past year under this rule. And even if you use Reggie Bush's actual time frame, which was 2004, 2005, he still would have made, they projected, $2 to $3 million a year based on his earning potential, which would be, 10 times what the NCAA was alleging that he and his family would have gotten or were to have gotten in benefits. And so when he looks at this, he told me, he was like, look, I made some mistakes through this. I'm not going to say I didn't. And there was things he regretted about it. But he said, if my situation had to happen for people to look back and say, all right, this is a wrong system. Because remember, when the money that people were making, again, off of college athletes, when it comes to the high end of the food chain, it's pretty staggering. And so we were talking about somebody who could have made $2 to $3 million, and this is even before social media. It's pretty eye-opening, and I think he said a lot of times in this country we are very reactive. We're not proactive, and he said sometimes people look back and go, wait a minute, what were we thinking? Why was this the rule?
Right.
And he was like, the NCAA has fought this at every turn, and he's happy that for now, he said, I'm glad that thousands of kids will end up benefiting from this, even though obviously it was a real mess for him and his family, and certainly for USC in the wake of it.
But it started over video games, didn't it? Back in the day?
This one, no. I think this whole thing gets really complicated, and it goes down a slippery slope in a hurry. And I think, to tie back to all the other NIL stuff, they're worried about third-party people. You're worried about transfer third-party people. It's all kind of connected. And the reason why this, and this is a little bit mentioned in the story, the reason why this NIL stuff is so hard for the NCAA is because, let's say, you're a prominent alum of your school. You want to have your star quarterback come to your son's birthday party. You could do it for $50,000. You could do it for $100,000. Normally, it wouldn't matter, but because there's a recruiting component tied to college athletics,
right,
that's where the NCAA is trying to police it, and that's what's going to come into the crosshairs of Congress, who are going to say, wait a minute, that's not free market value if you're capping it and you're limiting it. So it's going to get very messy as the NCAA tries to sort this out going forward, and the Reggie Bush story is a real good example of how it can get really messy.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.